Hi folks, so welcome again to the World Cup. We are going to show you another one of Slovenia's games. So our Lenny deck is up next, and this is the top 8 stage of the tournament, and the game was played against Catalonia, against their Greyjoy Sea of Blood. So this is our Lenny Kingdom of Shadows deck that Saraaa has been playing in this tournament. So Shadows. Anything, Saraaa, you want to discuss with this deck?
Last minute I made decision to swap Harris for Snow, and that was horrible whole tournament. And I hated it so much. Also some minor changes that maybe not the best. I don't know. Thought the Tower of the Hand would be good because it's kind of under the impression of returning Tyrion to hand if he gets milked. I don't know. A stupid idea, and I didn't have time to test. So, uh, yeah, that was some mistakes in the deck, I think. And I even said that when Mika was rating decks, but he didn't believe me because I was not very certain of it. And I feel like I got a lot of matchups that I didn't like as well. And this was one of them because I played it already in the Swiss stage, which was also a very dramatic game that went closer than most TAS games. Managed to get Greyjoy down to one card first round and then tried Morgulis, but he had the reason as the last card. But yeah, I think we tested it both in Swiss and in the top 8 stage, and Micha won every game with Greyjoy.
Yeah, almost. So the Greyjoy Sea of Blood deck kind of preys on this deck. So this is, as you can see, almost a pure Shadows deck that has some key locations, right, and economy. So kind of needs to set that up, play the econ stuff, and then of course you're going to concede some challenges, and you're happy to concede some unopposed in the early game against some opponents, but Greyjoy, of course, has triggers from that, and it can be a bit of a disaster. And then if Bowers goes, if
Yeah,
King's Landing goes, Red Keep, it's not super pleasant, right?
it's already not great against Greyjoy, you having to let unopposed through because there's always a danger of we do not so, but here he can trigger the agenda and almost for sure find it if he has the leftover gold. Then if he doesn't, he can still find the zero cost event that needs a worship and discards an unlimited location, which you also have plenty of. And then if you try to put some key characters in, there's also Bloody Cup that's not super fun. And of course, it finds reasons for the resets, so as a pain. And it would be so much better in this matchup to have the Harris, but of course I have for Snow.
Yeah. So
And
yeah.
sorry, it's almost impossible to not concede unopposed against this deck because you need like deal with Balan's ability, you need to deal with raiding Longship's ability. So really the best option is to just because then it's like okay, even if you keep killing them off, which was what kind of happened in the first game, just something comes in, does an unopposed, and you concede still so much power. So yeah, was not optimistic about it.
Yeah. Um, so what do we have here? We have Morgulis as the only reset, and we have Rise of the Kraken as a potential closer. There isn't actually that much draw in this one if you look at it. So Asha is of course draw. There's one copy of Great Kraken, so you can only really reliably find the events, but that is
Yeah,
quite
and
reliable.
warships, right? Is there not Brand the Builder?
Brand the builders there, yes. So you can find those, but you can get stuck a little bit, which I think was happening in the first game when the board was really small and suddenly Greyjoy couldn't do challenges for a couple of rounds and then had to kind of top deck himself out of trouble
The
here.
problem is that they still could do challenges, right? They could just do the one challenge unopposed every round and then.
Yeah. So I think our Shadows deck has basically two ways to play. So there's the Knight of Flowers late game type of game where you can get some renown because he stands, and then tunnels makes it really easy to push challenges through and really difficult for the opponent to do anything because all the board gets +3 or whatever it is, could be even a higher number. And the other way is to really attrition the board away with tricks like Robert Strong from Shadows for the kill, Mendon Moore on a loop, which eventually you cannot absorb anymore. Roose Bolton killing loyals, there's Catspaw returning stuff to hand, and a few other abilities here. So we figured that this was actually much more likely, right, if you're going to have a game. But in testing, didn't really happen. Although the first game was kind of the closest one you played against this deck. So when we played Catalonia, I think in round 4 of the group stage, there was a hint of a game there. Almost had it actually. So
Yeah, I think he had as the last card Reason, and then he drew a dupe for Balon. And if it wasn't Reason, then it would, I think, go differently because then he top decks the bad Balon. That's pretty good for
yeah.
me.
So stage of the round, I think it's so we lost the first three, then won one. I think it's 3-1 to
Yeah,
Catalonia at this point. So we're trying to come back and kind of already mark this one as a loss. But let's see if we
yeah.
can get anything.
When I was about to play this game, if I judge that we will probably lose 1-7, so
Yeah. Okay. So here is the recording. If you're ready, Sarah.
yeah.
Okay, then let's click play. So joining it on setup. And Pulpodzilla is, of course, very successful with this deck. He took it to the Stale Cut last year, I think, top 8 even. And
Yeah,
walking
I think it's
unopposed this year.
probably, yeah, it's probably mm, the best deck right now that uses Asha as the restricted, right? I don't know others that had such success as his.
Yeah, some winter decks have Asha.
Mm, not anymore. So I was thinking if I want to open late summer feast, but I had already 3 locations, and I figured if I just put also get to the moon in, it's gonna be really difficult to get it, just rid of all of the econ, all of the resources. Hmm. I don't remember everything, but I do remember that I had Cersei, and I figured Cersei is really good against this deck.
But the Harris would be nice now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I feel like also in testing there was several situations where it was like this type of board state where there were like 3 bigs on the board, and yeah.
Giving up on Bolton Flare.
I think I had another one. Not, or maybe not. I don't know. I just remember that I had really shit um, cards in hand at the start. I was hoping to get a dupe for Bowers because if that stays in play, that's usually pretty decent.
Well, I mean, one unopposed and things can go downhill, like we said. So it can be a combination of we do not so and raiding the Bay of Ice. Can get rid of two locations. And Asha will of course draw from that. And nothing in place, so you did pay 3 to marshal a card into shadows. Ooh, but that's possibly a misplay not to push this military through by 5, because that's the one that draws. And Shrewd Diplomat saves the day actually, because Balon was alone in the challenge.
Mm-hmm. And stop the agenda trigger. That was what is important.
So now you cannot get it, right? Because there's 0 gold and no token. So raiding is free, right? And
Yeah.
Kindly Man's not gonna stand before it's before the round ends, basically. Well, top 3 is not a reason on demand, but it is something. Mm. So I guess at this point, Shrewd Diplomat can do power and maybe Baron kneels, and then
I'm honestly not sure what the reasoning was here.
if the card in shadows is Bolt and Flare, then that's not beating Eager Deckhand.
Yeah, I think maybe it was that. I don't know, but probably a mistake. Mm.
It is Bolt and Flare.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is what I was thinking. That Balon will kneel and I can kill, but then I remember that he has still the 2 scouts, so it was pointless.
Well, but all in all, it's not the worst start, and you have +6 gold from the locations. So you can play a bit now. If there wasn't a reason now and you knew that for a fact, I think Greyjoy would be in trouble. we gonna Morgulis? No, Econ into
I think I was
Brandbuilder.
considering it because Balon is probably the worst thing to have. Balon and Ash together, especially, I don't know. Really hard to deal with.
Yeah, here comes the dupe.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Now I feel like it's happening here. I can't really stop it unopposed anymore. Yet more Econ.
Also, I have no Lenny card, I think. Maybe that was the reasoning to discard multiplayer early because they have the more expensive shadow cards.
Mm.
Yeah, I feel like I was kind of accepting that there's gonna be another bad round, and then I think at this point I had maybe cat spore or something, so I figured I'll cat spore something next round to stop.
Hmm.
I don't know what happened here. I think I misclicked something, so
So you have the guild hall that can cancel Asha's search.
yeah, that's what I figured.
Can't really oppose. Oh, and something's already in play. Or in hand.
Well, you don't know. Maybe he just hopes that he gets something right, and you have to trigger it before.
I think Bloody Cup on one of the... Okay. Oh yeah, we do not sow. You do have to pay for that. Sure. Although I'd be searching for reasons, yeah. So now we have a duped Asha and a reason in hand. And Bloody Cup was in fact already there.
And here I was thinking if I want to get the Bolton Flare with a gold mine, but then because he will get pillaged. But then I was thinking on the off chance that he doesn't have we do not so it will stop Gorold from triggering if I don't if I leave Bolton Flare on top. And also we don't want to put too much cards in discard pile for Asha's ability as well.
Hmm.
Because if he plays without so on Guildhall, she will search a lot.
Something else gonna be played. Okay. Ooh, Guildhall.
And I was thinking here, okay, fair enough, Asha's gonna find something good, but you know, I still think it would hurt more to get we do not sow on bowels always because that's just so much resources gone.
Yeah. I think the thinking here was okay. 8 power, maybe 9 or 10 here, and then maybe we close already. Then let's goes.
Pinch goes, that would have been good. And then, especially when you have gold money, you know you can draw whenever you want. It's so frustrating feeling because, like, you see what you would have drawn if you triggered it
Hmm.
now, and instead of triggering it in, like, next action window or not triggering it well, whatever.
1 gold. Not doing anything with it. Okay. So we have an Iron Fleet Scout, a Grey Ghost, and a Reason in hand, and something that Asha drew.
Yeah, and I figured if it's only one reason, I still have a chance. Um, yeah.
I wonder if you'd played Morgulis here and there was no save for Balon and Asha. If Pulpodzilla would have had anything. They could marshal Gorod, I guess. Now they're quite well protected. Do you have one more round before losing? But actually, I mean,
No,
it snowballs anyway for Greyjoy, so the more Asha draws, the tougher it gets.
yeah, there's no way to not just lose. Um, I think I think I play Murgulis in this round because the problem is you don't want to Catspo and suddenly then gets remarshalled after Murgulis, so you have to do Murgulis. I think that was the thinking after I got Catspo at least. I think it might have been now. I think I was just calculating if I have enough gold on Murgulis turn.
Well, there's 11 gold and bowels is there, so there is some gold to do stuff.
Think,
Hmm.
yeah. I was waiting for that second reason that would suck.
Hmm. I think Asha probably took characters.
I mean, you're not also guaranteed in first five cards to just get reason.
No. Yeah, twice he goes first against Shadows, which he needs to go first for reading Longship to work, which means even if stuff comes out of Shadows, it's super difficult to oppose anything. But I also think sometimes you just have to kind of forget about that. It is a two-claim plot. You could go still second, although we do know there is a pinch threat.
Mm. I mean, all things considered, he probably doesn't need even power claim to close if I don't have a good answers.
Yeah, of course. Can
Because
get
just all three unopposed would
six
be
from that.
enough.
Yeah.
And he has so much attack that I don't think I can possibly defend a challenge.
Hmm. Well, you have to stop some of the challenges here, or oppose, otherwise it's not happening.
Yeah.
I feel like the only way to really uh, stop that is to remove characters from the challenge, either with Diplomat or Cat's Paw, or kill them with Sir Robert
But
Strong.
Diplomat's gone.
You can't
Shadow Priestess
oppose
doesn't work.
anything, right? Because
No.
there's Balon and then there's two ships, so it's
And
absolutely
there's Grey
not
Ghost,
gonna
so
happen. Yeah, and that,
it's
so.
impossible. And even if I had tunnels, Balon can get up to 12, I think, which is.
Well, yeah, anything to be done in
It was,
marshalling.
um, I was pretty sure that I'm losing this game, but I did get some answers.
Do you have a Shadow Priestess? That's the only thing really in marshalling, right? You could do Cat's Paw in marshalling, I guess, and trigger Bowers, but I think it's better if you do it on a character that's already in a
Yeah,
challenge.
that's, I guess, I think what I was thinking. And then I think I also, um, I also had um, I think I had Sir Robert Strong, and I had spoilers, but I had a um Iron Bank, so I had some resources.
It is to claim, so anything that's on the board is still going to die here.
Yeah, and he went with Tion first, which is kinda was good for me because that meant I could Robert Strong first and then play Iron Bank on Robert Strong because otherwise I would have to Iron Bank Cersei, which would be slightly less good because I could discard one less card.
Yeah, and he is unsavable here, Tion, because Cersei discards first.
Yeah.
So that's one threat averted here. And you gain 2 gold for Bowers. So if you play the Iron Bank, will have its due. You have 9. And you do need all of that for Catspaw, right? Yeah.
I need technically only I only need 8 because I had to catch for Balon because it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
really fun to get the military
But
claim.
you couldn't draw a card. You'll have one left, but
I mean, it's already past that. I mean, I already used the powers, yeah.
boom, and he just goes from this. Very fair interaction. I mean, Cersei is a ridiculous design. I don't know who decided that limit 3 is the way to go, which means every challenge phase the opponent's gonna lose 3 cards if they have them. I find that shocking. Limit once or a reaction to her winning a challenge or something, but not just passively discarding the whole hand just like that.
Yeah, this one I had nothing against, so I was just gonna be unopposed regardless.
And Asha can now find the card that's gonna stay, presumably.
Yes. So this is a good pillage because I never used Tower of the Hand. But the second pinch goes, which is all the pinch that I have in the deck, and also Robert Strong, which is, I think, all the Robert Strong I have. Although there's not that many good targets for Robert Strong in this deck anyway, so.
Hmm. Playable Chad goes searching for something better.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't do that much. I now have 2 Lenny characters on the board.
What if Asha found another reason?
Actually, I triggered gold mine here, hoping that I get Lannister's honor, but then I just didn't trigger the other one
Hmm.
because I think the cards are then pretty decent. I think there was like Mendon and Tyrion at this point.
Oof, okay, yeah, don't get rid of that. Well, Pulpodzilla was on 10 and he's still on 10 after this round, so that went pretty well. Oh, look, I'm alive. I was walking around the apartment. I was a bit nervous. Of course, he has his own Morgulis as well in the first game in the group stage. When this happened, similar situation, and Cersei was there, he did play Morgulis. Now, what did Asha get last time?
Probably not the sea tower.
Hmm. How about the Victarion?
He doesn't have the really impressive Victorian.
Ah, Euron. And gold works out actually.
Yeah. And actually, I was like, thinking before playing this trade routes that I should just probably play it because it's not going to be better to wait another round because how many more locations will he realistically play, right?
Hmm.
It's just going to get the negative from Ron is going to be the same, but actually he played like two more, so
I
it's
wonder, I
slightly
mean,
better to go alone first.
so there's no theoretical way to get a warship here. Would the standing fishmonger not be better?
I mean, there is a very possible way with Asha.
Oh, she wins the challenge and searches. Okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking
She
she's
does do
not
that
gonna do
sometimes.
anything anymore due to the control that's about to happen. So that's why I'm thinking Fishmonger. It's another character that just goes in a challenge and needs to be dealt with, potentially. So we have a few things. Well, he would have died from that. So a few things that you can do. You can do Mandon. If Catspaw can be replayed, you can do Catspaw again. If they are in a challenge and there's Roose Bolton, he can deal with that. And then there's also Shadow Priestess. Neil works brilliantly against this type of Greyjoy deck. Actually, Mandon's gonna loop. Then one of them will have to die. And the other one will have to survive against military coming back potentially. Which means might just have to be left standing, but that's no way to play the game long term. Mm-hmm. Where are we starting? Are we starting with Yoran? Yeah. Boom. Masha needs to either stay standing or find a save for herself.
And the problem is she can't really find a safe because Cersei just discards it.
Hmm, yeah. If one more thing comes out of shadows. Which at this point is a mystery. Euron was always gonna die. I wonder if he could have taken a location. I mean, Guildhall is not the best because everything has shadow. Also, you can't really use it. You're just giving it back. I don't think you have anything
Yeah.
else that's great. There's a lion gate, I think, in the discard pile.
I figured he can defend intrigue here. So I can do intrigue with Mandan first, then I try to trigger him again. And then
Yeah, I remember
I did
this.
this brilliant move where I thought that the challenge was already true. I just did the Mandan, the trigger before the challenge went through. So that was, I was really stressed during this game, so that's in my defense. I don't know. I thought it was already, done.
Yeah, casters are
It's not a
gone
huge
unopposed.
difference. Yeah, but it would be one more power that I would get. This even I could have even put a cat's paw in. I don't know why was this necessary.
I don't know why. So he has the insight, that's gonna help.
Yeah, we wanted to find one clever feint because now Greyjoy kind of has two more goalies.
Yeah, and then can top deck better. And you have Tyrion, Mandon, and Cersei dead, and the cat's paw, which is very very usable if you can find one of the events that gets him back. Or I mean Tyrion's ability, but that's spent. Well, you have actually a lot of attempts here. Even in standing, you can still find one of the events. Just saving one character will do it, I think, here, basically. And Jorah's quite convenient.
Yeah, it was a bit questionable to discard bowels because dupes are useful, but it would be pretty cool to get that get that thingy.
So should have been 9-8 here, it's gonna be 9-7.
Yeah. As well because I thought that, it would be more efficient if he does a challenge before I use him again. Even though it would not at all be necessary. It was 11-0 for dominance, so.
So did you get it? You did not get it.
No.
So we know what's coming. Morgulis into presumably a Nikon plot because you do have 3 cards, they can't be all bad. What did Tyrion put
Yeah.
to shadows?
Tyrion put Mandon to shadows.
Oh, so what's the leftover card? Do we know?
Uh, Jorah is put in shadows
Oh,
with
Jorah,
Dorne,
yeah.
right?
Okay, that's a character. That's pretty decent.
I want the worst cards anyway, but
Could have played first Snow here, would have had the initiative. But very
yeah, I mean,
not nearly as much gold, of course. And 2 characters are better than anything else, I guess. Didn't use a sea tower on the other one.
The problem is I still can't super realistically defend challenges that are unopposed, but at least now there's no claim.
Hmm. First now another loan or the plots. I don't remember what he has in the deck, honestly.
He has Forced March, and then he also has
Light Summer Fist, I think.
yeah, something that loses to first no anyway.
Well, this guy still can be a problem because he can boost himself and win
Yep.
by 5. I think he's gonna do that just to see if there's an event. Although at this point there's 30 gold and Bowers has kind of done its job. Not much you can find, but let's see. Reason, okay. Do you have an intrigue icon? Jorah. And Eric doesn't bother.
And there's no claim, but it would still bring him to 12, but then everything's unopposed and he doesn't stand again.
Oh, okay. That helps.
Yeah, but he still can't win power on his own.
Yeah, but he nears Eric out.
Yeah. I don't remember what was the logic behind not doing military first. Oh, yeah, I think because he has reason, so he plays reason. So I thought if I do intrigue first, then either way I'm gonna only get one stand from Knight of Flowers.
So I think Intrigue's the better one here, probably, right?
Mm.
It's unopposed and then he has to kneel Eric if he wants to defend military. If you do military, you win military, and Night Flowers gets renown, and you can still either kneel Eric or get unopposed also. But then Reason probably gets played. I think either way you're doing pretty well now. And two characters that don't survive first snow. Too bad Hagen's daughter had to come out also.
Probably could have just let him play the reason. It wouldn't be that much a difference, but whatever. That's
No,
not.
I think it's the same. Wants to have that Eric standing. And it wins him dominance. So 13-10. Now what you have an econ plot, another loan which is basically unlimited gold for whatever you are likely to play, and you have first snow which gets rid of Eric and Hagen's daughter.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I mean, he could play Late Summer Feast, hoping he gets something like Euron and I don't know. I think Force March is more likely.
Euron is
So I
dead at
figured
this
he's gonna
point.
have initiative either way. Hmm?
I think only Victarion's alive of the beginnings.
He has Euron, 7 cost.
He has 6 cost Euron, he died earlier.
Oh,
He died from
okay, then that was
Mendon.
another matchup. Well, anyway, I figured he's gonna play this and I'm gonna lose initiative, so it's better that he has no other characters on the board. Mm.
Yeah, only one character actually now. It's better than having two. Would have nailed one of those that survive for first now. Now you can trade Eric for Hagen's daughter, but it does nothing. I don't think Eric can be duped, by the way. Must be only one. Hmm. Well, Chad at the wrong time. Doesn't survive first now.
Yeah.
So it's already over, even if you do nothing else.
For what it's worth, I also have 2 Shadow Priestesses.
Of course you do.
Can play both of them with the Bowels trigger.
Well, it was a little bit dodgy in the first half of this game, but no counterplay for Greyjoy after Menton went crazy. Yeah, if the board gets destroyed like that, I mean, it's look at the backboard here. So many ships, but they only really do stuff if you can do challenges. They force the unopposed for you, and you can close games. But it's doing nothing here, and top decking every sea tower and every card like that is just a giant waste. In the first game, he did top deck himself out of trouble when this similar situation happened, but not here.
Yeah, I mean, also I had less resources available because here I had all the resources, right? I had two gold mine, I had bowels, and I had even King's Landing. The only thing was missing was really the draw. Yeah, the draw, the strength boost. So, um, yeah, maybe Asha should have taken that bowels. Uh, but I mean, well, it wasn't Asha, whatever. We do not know a
We do
spread,
not sow
but
on the bowels instead of the guild hall, then Asha wouldn't
it
be
was
able to
a polar
search.
challenge.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, maybe, I mean, presumably he top decked that round only one Chad and the Sea Tower, so would still maybe work out.
Mm.
Probably, hopefully. Mhm.
Yeah, in all the test games, I mean, what happened was just either there was Balon or there was Raiding Longship, and it snowballed into discarding any kind of location that you had on setup. But this kind of extreme econ, basically just one round of playing all the locations, okay, not duped, but all of them from the beginning, including King's Landing and Bowers, and like four limiteds or one gold mine, I think, along with them. We didn't really have that because at some point you can't discard them all, and if Lenny can play with econ, okay, you can dupe yourself so that you can get Morgulis, but against the all the stuff that happens afterwards and did happen in this game, you don't have
Yeah,
that
but
much.
also, um, I was scared there would be the zero cost event. I was also scared that there would be, I think that, I think there's also one copy of the um, unsmiling guy.
Hmm.
He's a pain. So there's a lot of things, even if you put like four locations down or one around and two get discarded, that's so bad.
Yeah. Well,
And also, even now, you saw there was nothing that could be opposed, really, at any point. Like, unopposed just gonna go through and,
yeah, no raiding longship was used all game, and there was one Grey Ghost trigger. You could never actually defend the challenge. No.
yeah,
Maybe
there was
that
just
round when
like,
there were when Manon came out and you had Catspo and Tyrion and Cersei, you had five characters. Maybe they would, but they didn't share the icons, so I don't think they could even then. So yeah,
that's pretty.
yeah,
I
I
mean, it's
think
interesting deck. Mikhail really likes it now that he won all the games with it.
yeah, I think this was probably the most interesting Lenny game we had here, and I'm happy we were able to bring you at least something from this top eight round against Catalonia, which was pretty exciting. So I think we have at least one game from all the other top eight matches as well, and then a lot of the top four stuff. So I hope you enjoy the rest of this tournament. So thank you for watching this one with us, and see you next time.
Bye bye.